We shall keep on praying for you because we are certain that God has a great future for you in the midst of all this. So thank you so much. And once again from Britain, we say, Paul, and God bless you.
So thank you, Samuel. Samuel has really interacted with that family, and I know most of us have interacted with. So I'll read a letter of condolence from our CEO representing the Britain family, where Maureen works. So it's addressed to Maureen Moturi. Maureen works in a branch called Nairobi 5. So dear Maureen, reference is letter of condolence. We are deeply saddened to learn about the sudden demise of your husband, Christant Mutua. I would like to express my deepest sympathies to you and your family on behalf of the entire management and the staff of Britain. It is never easy to lose a husband. Please accept our heartfelt condolences during this difficult time and pass these sentiments to your family too. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and your entire family during this time of grief. We pray that God gives you strength and courage to bear the loss. May Christant so rest in eternal peace. Yours sincerely for Britam Holdings, Abros Dabani, CEO, Life. So these people have interacted with Maureen in one or the other. They may not all have a chance to talk. So they will just sing one song just as a tribute to Chris, who they have also interacted with. So,
Choir Master, you have one place. Or Choir Master.
Bwana ni mchungaji wangu, sitapungukiwa kitu. Huniza kwenye majani mabichi, hunongoza kwa maji matulivu. Hunihuisha nafsi yangu, huniongoza kwa njia za haki. Nipitapo bondeni mwa mauti, sitaogopa, wewe unami. Hakika wema nazo fadhili zitanifuata mimi. Nitakaa nyumbani mwa Bwana siku zote za maisha yangu. Hakika wema nazo fadhili zitanifuata mimi. Nitakaa nyumbani mwa Bwana siku zote za maisha yangu. Gongo yako na fimbo yako vinanifariji mimi. Waandaa meza mbele yangu machoni mwa watesi wangu. Hakika wema nazo fadhili zitanifuata mimi. Nitakaa nyumbani mwa Bwana siku zote za maisha yangu.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much. Poleni sana to the Chris family. God bless you and give you strength. Thank you.
Asante sana, barikiweni sana. That is the team from Britam. Wakati Chris alituacha akiwa India, tulipata usaidizi from one person we want to specially recognize. Alitusaidia sana to bring Chris back home to Kenya, and I would like to call Kano Chirchir to come and give you a condolence. Kano, tafadhali. This man came through for us, and we really appreciate you, sir. Karibu sana Ukambani.
Is it good afternoon or is it good morning? Bwana asifiwe. I'm here on two capacities. I'll say as a friend and also the person who that stepped in when things happened. But I want to go to the history. Many of us have celebrated Chris in many ways. I met Chris on 22nd of April 2022. So I don't know much of Chris. In fact, when I said his name, nilimuita Christine. Sikuwa najua Christant ama Christine. And immediately after that 22nd, I think I was introduced to him by Jackie. I don't know if Jackie is here. But on Monday that followed, that was a Friday, on Monday that followed, we had a meeting already talking about business. And like the way I've come late for this funeral, also in that meeting I came late. But one thing that I learned about Christant, he's a very forgiving man. In fact, when he called me, when he was going through this, the last journey in India, I failed to return his calls, and then I asked him to forgive me. And he told me, nimekusamea 70 times what. But even the following day, I was back to the same mistake, but he forgave me. That was Christant, and I carry that virtue. I introduced Christant to my wife, and who is following online. And immediately we formed a group between Christant, I, and my wife. And he assumed the role of Prime Minister. So we had a PM office, a WhatsApp group. And he will marshal us to do so many other things. And I hope that as we walk this journey, we'll be able to complete. I've just engaged the doctor. When we knew this problem, that is Dr. Muho, whom when I went to see Christant when he was recovering, he introduced me to him. And I went to that chemist that he was asked to go and buy medicine. And I looked at this man and engaged him just to understand how in the world would you have even thought of prescribing. And then he told me his journey through medicine. Studied in Nairobi University, went to the United States, went and did fellowship in Bangkok, Thailand, Bangkok, and I think Singapore. So he was a young man with vast of experience. And after listening to him, I knew it is God that actually sent Christant to the right person. I think I will not go on. I'm here to mourn you, Christant. I'll walk the journey that you want us to do with the guidance of the chairman and the group that I was assimilated. That is the mighty men. But the story of mighty men is very different, is very unique. That Christant, those phone calls that are kept missing, he just wanted to tell me one thing: I want you to join this group. If Christant knew that I was going to play a role because he knew his last days are coming, I don't know. I will leave that to God. But I joined the group hesitantly, but I met very good people who were wondering, who is this one of us that has joined? And I kept low profile in the group, and they've kept on asking me to speak, but I don't like speaking. So allow me to go back, and again, for welcoming me as Antenison. Thank you. And my friend, rest in peace. We'll see you. Thank you.
Asante sana, Colonel. As Colonel has said, there was a group that was working behind the scenes. They're called the Mighty Men. They will not talk, but can you stand up? And I'm one of them. The Mighty Men, muko wapi? The Mighty Men of Chris? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the men who are supporting and who are the backbone. From the time Chris became sick up to today, we are still walking this journey. Gentlemen, may God bless you. Allow me to call upon the 7 couples. Chris was a very sociable person, and he had formed a group with his wife of 7 couples that they did life together, they worked together, they literally did everything together that pertains to family. From being best men, best maids, to supporting each other when they were having babies, to birthdays, anniversaries. These are the 7 couples. We'll give them only 1 minute.
I think you've said everything I was to say. I won't take much of time, but I will just say there's one family not represented here. They are away in Australia. We knew Chris way back in 2005, and since then tumetembea na yeye kwa nia, njia na kila kitu ingine na kwa mali. When we knew Chris, some of us, especially the boys, he was not married, he didn't have a family, and none of us here had. But since then, a lot has happened, but Chris has been one of our trusted friends. He never missed any of our functions, We've come here several times, we've been to Nyeri several times, and many other things we've done together. All I want to say is, our friend Chris, rest in peace.
Thank you, guys. Momo was a very, very, very close friend to Chris. Momo Mozilla. Momo Alika. Onetha tio tu kuyai. Tio tali tosa masomo. Esomo zila to somo ndene tekara. Tetu maendo siye chao. Siye mwana na siye kitumi. Bro.
Thank you very much. Ngaini Museo, na Mavindu down there. It's a privilege and an honor to speak today here. And let me, when I MC, let me start by saying, Chris had very many friends. I'm just talking on your behalf. He had very many good friends. Chris was a very great person. And his testimony is right over this gathering over here. You can see how many we are. This is how Chris strong was and with people. Now, when I thought of talking of Chris, I thought, yes, we've shared so much. But I told my daughter, can you tell me who Chris was to you, so that we hear the testimony of Chris through the eyes of our child. So she wrote some notes here, which I'll read. She said, Chris was kind, Chris was caring, Chris was loving, he was friendly, he was always welcoming. She said that to Mom, he was a welcoming friend. To Ruth, who is our elder sister, he was an encouraging uncle. To Tindi, who is the one who was writing, he was a kind uncle. Uncle, whatever. Ukamba kidogo. She continued to say that she enjoyed it when people, he enjoyed it when people enjoyed. He looked out for others and for himself. Oh, she never forgot me. She said, to Dad, he was a great friend. And to Mikali, who is our last born, she said, and to Mikali, he was a friendly uncle. We all loved Uncle Chris, and may his soul rest in peace. So I choose to let the words and how that kid saw Chris to be my testimony to Chris. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Pastor Olunga. Chris no nenda tengaina no nenda achuma. Ena family yake. Nanda natia. Uneona pastor wa Chris Koyailovi. Eta wa Pastor Olunga. Nimewaambia Chris alikuwa anapenda kuja kanisa na wewe ndio ulikuwa pastor wake. Sema kitu pastor.
Yesu asifiwe sana. Piwe. Ngaini museo. Ndaombe. Please allow me, if you would, to just give this chance to Reverend Dominic Mudhuri, not only because he is my senior, but also because he was, up to Chris's death, Chris as pastor, because Chris was in Nairobi Chapel South, and then when they moved to Kiambu Road, he moved to Nairobi Chapel, Kiambu Road. So, Reverend, please.
Hata iwe Yesu. Bwana asifiwe. Nasikia mimi najua hiyo lugha ya huku. I was telling this my pastor here that I was here in 1994. I was teaching a school somewhere around Mukuyuni. So I was here. So mimi ni wa hapa, sasa niko nyumbani. Ni anasa na yetu asa. Bwana asifiwe. Yeah, my name is Reverend Dominic from Nairobi Chapel on Kiambu Road. I must say that Chris has been a great guy, because Chris, he began a mother church in Gong Road. That's where he got married, and then the children were dedicated there. Because of work, they moved to South Sea. Then Pastor Olunga was their pastor up to 2022. Then in 2022, when they moved to Kiambu Road, then they came to us and we embraced them as a church. Indeed, I must say that for me, I've lost a friend, because Chris are not these people who go to a church and they sit at the back. But Chris just came to me and told me, Pastor, what can I do in this church? And great as he was, he said, I want to join your group in hospitality, who come and organize the service, the chairs, wanapanga panga huku, ushering people. That was Chris. Sometimes wiping the chairs, and the team that Chris served with, Tukonayo iko hapa. Those guys from Nairobi Chapel, Kiambu Road, please. Yeah, you can see the team is here. Can we appreciate them with a clap? They served with Chris with the dedication and commitment. And just like he was in South Sea, he became the same with us in Nairobi Chapel, Kiambu Road. And for us, we have lost a friend. But one thing that I'm so sure, and that gave me courage and confidence, was when Maureen called me on Sunday morning after she was told that Chris has gone. She told me, Pastor, he has gone to be with the Lord. And I was shocked, because I was just preparing to go out to the church for the service. But she told me, don't worry, our brother has gone to heaven. And one thing we are certain about, even as we celebrate Chris today, we know he's in a better place. And even if Chris was told to come back, I believe he cannot accept to come back. But we say, fare thee well, our brother. You have gone before us. We shall miss you, but our hearts are with you. To Maureen and the children, we love you. We shall give you all our support. All our counselors, I can see Councillor Irene is here. She has been working with Maureen, and the other counselors will still work with you. So God bless you. Asanteni sana. We bless God, because the Bible says in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11 that God makes all things beautiful in his own time. And so we can't question him. God bless you. Thank you.
Asante mchungaji. Ladies and gentlemen, with all humility and humbleness, please allow me to call Maureen Muturi and the girls to come and give their tribute. Maureen, please. As Maureen comes, I'm told that we have representatives from Nova Pioneer, where our three beautiful girls school. Could you please stand up and wave to us? Representatives from Nova? Oh yeah, there you are, there you are. Those are the teachers who are guiding our girls at Nova Pioneer. Thank you so much for coming and for taking care of our girls. I'm told there is also a message from Nova Pioneer, so just give us 1 minute, if you may. Kindly, tuokoe masaa. Pastor amefika, priest amefika. Tunataka kuanza mass. Ani mwalimu masube ya twele tuto skulu. Skulu ito Nova Pioneer.
Thank you. God is good, and all the time. My name is Fintan. We're the community from Nova Pioneer, where Bella, Nicole, and Madison school. Mr. Bramwell here is Madison's teacher. Miss Margaret and myself are Bella's teachers, and Miss Mercy is Nicole's teacher. We also have one of our teachers somewhere, I think she didn't come out, and the bus minder who takes them home every day. So, I just read a note from our school principal and the community park school. Dear Mrs. Mavindu and the girls, bless you with a peace that surpasses all understanding as you mourn your dear husband and dad and celebrate his life. Please know that your Nova community is with you today and always. We trust that the Lord will see you through. With love from Principal Christine, the parents, teachers, and the student community at Nova Pioneer Tatu Primary.
Asante and God bless you. Thank you very much for that tribute. Maureen. Tumeane sio banini mebange.
I'm so sad you're gone, my dad. We had so many good times together. I can't finish talking about them in a year. One of them is the time we went to Pride in Paradise. We had the best times together. We went to the beach, ate good meals together, and did so much more. When I heard of the sad news, I burst into tears and cried like I never before. I cried till I threw up. All I wanted is for you to get better, but things became worse. Last year I know was the toughest year you ever lived, but Mom told us you always loved us, and now that you have stopped suffering. Rest in peace from your dearest daughter, Tanu.
Let's appreciate her. Thank you.
I will read tribute from Muthoni. You are the best dad ever. We love you. I liked when you played football with me. May you have peace. Rest in peace from your dearest daughter, Muthoni. Tribute from Mombi. My dearest father, I love you. I always obeyed you. I wish that you'd come back. You are the best dad forever, and I love you. We went to Mombasa and had so much fun swimming, playing in the kids club with you. You are the best father. I will love you in my heart always. From your dearest daughter, Bella Mombi.
Chris was a good man. He loved God and he loved people. He was an amazing husband and an amazing father. Chris was intentional. I remember when we were expecting each of our 3 children, he would pack a hospital bag for himself too, and we would be admitted in hospital together. He would stay throughout until we would be discharged together when it came time to go home. He was a present father who took time to learn each of his children. I remember many times when he would try to explain to me why each child behaved the way that they did. He understood them. He valued his family, both nuclear and extended. If you interacted with Chris a lot, then you knew he was proud of his family. He must have found a way of telling you about the apples of his eye, our 3 beautiful daughters, Tanu, Muthoni, and Mombi. I remember during the very last stage of a virtual job interview, where he was being interviewed by the company CEO. Mombi, our last born, who was about 2 years then, woke up from her afternoon nap, and while Chris was in the middle of this very important job interview, he did not hesitate to tell this captain of industry to give him 1 minute so that he could attend to Mombi. He went and picked her up and placed her on his lap. And then with the laptop camera on, he went ahead to introduce Mombi to the interviewer. and ask that they can carry on with the interview. Needless to say, he did get the job. He always joked that Mumbi was the one who sealed the deal for him. Chris not only respected but revered his parents. He would literally move mountains for his family where he could. Chris had a big heart that never held grudges. I would be astounded by his ability to let things go whenever people did him wrong. He would literally carry on relating with them as if it never happened. He was generous to a fault. When I look around, I know we would have no shortage of testimonials towards his generosity over the years. Chris had a special gift of connecting with people. He loved people and literally came alive when in the company of other human beings. All he ever required was an introduction, and then he would flow with you like he had known you for years. It always amused me to hear him on the phone with my relatives and friends, basically talking about things that had nothing to do with me. He would make it his responsibility to find out what each person did, and then later he would try to call them up and link them up with career and business opportunities. He was always trying to add value to people's lives. Chris was a visionary, and because of his close work with God, especially in the last 5 years of our marriage, I trusted his decisions even when I may not have seen things through his eyes. I will miss his energy and his unique ability to work a room, especially when we were hosting. I never had to worry about sitting to entertain guests with conversations. All I needed to do was take care of food and drinks, and Chris was more than enough. How he would, whenever he went out to eat, he found a way of connecting with the waiters, whom 90% of the time he would place an order and then ask a few questions, trying to hear the accent from this waiter. Then he would turn to me and say, huyu ni wa kwetu, ebu ngoja uone. Then when the waiter returned with our order, he would quickly switch to Kamba, and very soon they'd be engaged in banter in Kamba. And this always ensured that we got top-notch services wherever we went. To my parents in love, thank you. You raised a good man. Now to my tribute. Sweetie, I don't know what to say. It feels like only yesterday when we met and your charming and vibrant personality swept me off my feet. It doesn't feel like 12 years have gone by since we said our wedding vows, but when I look at our 3 beautiful daughters, I have irrefutable evidence of our wonderful years together. I am grateful to God for allowing our paths to cross when they did, and for giving us those 12 years of marriage. Thank you for your love, kindness, generosity, leadership, wisdom, vision, maturity, dependability, and most importantly, consistency.